Hey everybody, welcome to Hear Us Out. I'm Patrick.
And I'm Paul.
And we're going to take a very quick 5-minute look at Netflix's Drive to Survive, the really popular new Formula One docuseries that I think might have a few problems.
Ooh. So yeah, Drive to Survive, new documentary series about the F1 racing sport. On Netflix, it's in its second season.
Mm-hmm. I'm a lifelong motorsport fan nut. You're newer to the sport?
Yeah, about a year kind of thing. So,
and have not watched either season 1 or season 2 of Drive to Survive?
I got into it. My girlfriend was really into it, and I was just like, okay, I'll watch a couple of races, and I watched a fantastic race, and ever since then I've been hooked. Have not watched this documentary. Heard a lot about it.
And here's the good news for all of you: this is not going to be about the sport itself. This is actually about the Netflix show and some of the fallout from said Netflix show. Mm-hmm. I am amazed that this is as popular as it has been, and it has been incredibly popular.
Yeah.
But when you consider somebody who loves the sport saying that they're amazed, I'm just amazed that somebody was smart enough to do it as well as they did it. They've done it really well because they're showing the drama and the personality, and they broke it up. They didn't try and actually show the sport. They tried to show the people of the sport.
Yeah, the drivers, the mechanics, the pit crews, the race driver, manager guys.
The team personnel guy. Yeah. The star out of all this is a guy called Gunther Steiner, who curses a lot and says really, really funny things and gives out to people. He's a great guy. I know him. He's a great guy. Me and Gunther go way, way back. Importantly, though, why am I bringing up that they did this so well and yet I'm saying they may have problems? Mm-hmm. They didn't cause this problem, but the world did. I am now seeing on Twitter after the launch of this, it's brought so many new, young and exciting people of all sorts, men, women, children, everything. And there's a bit of a sinister underground of people going, you're not a real fan. Yeah. You're only following this because of a dumb TV show. Okay. Or you're only following this because you fancy one of the guys, which I think is the most corrosive and disgusting thing to say.
That's not a good way to. That's not a good endorsement to the fan base if they're just like you're just fancying the drivers because they're kind of good looking. It's like fuck you.
Yeah. So as somebody who's been ingrained and buried in all this for so long, I see that and I'm disgusted because I'm like, everybody who loves motorsport knows motorsport needs new people to come along, and all you ever want to do as a super nerd and super fan of anything is share it with others
and get more, because you get more people to come in and you get more conversations going and stuff. And I've heard a lot that this TV show, this documentary, has injected a fantastic new massive amount of fan base.
Oh yeah, it's brought an awful lot of people along. So my question to you is kind of the person who's more recent and only for a year. Mm-hmm. It's not the easiest and most accessible sport at all times.
No, I had the advantage that I'm really interested in kind of engineering. So I was a lot more kind of into the kind of the design of the cars and how they work and all the calculations and design that goes into them. It wasn't until I watched a couple of the races that I started getting into more of the kind of personalities of some of the racers and some of the rivalries and stuff like that.
And I think that's natural for any sport. And the fact that they've managed to do such a good job of not ignoring the sport, but not making this documentary about the sport itself, making it about the rivalries,
highlighting the rivalries and the drivers.
And the political dynamics and all sorts of great stuff, because it's drama. It's all sport is real life drama played out by people who are lucky enough to be employed doing what they love. Mm-hmm. But I keep going back to, we did say that there could be problems. Problem number one is those people being, let's face it, assholes to new fans. That's a problem because that's just wrong.
It's toxic.
There is the other problem that the sport has, in that now this is a great advertisement and it's showing people's faces like us, and showing charismatic people like Daniel Ricciardo, Australian driver, very, very popular, very charismatic guy, great smile, very funny. He's a character. Mm-hmm. But then you put him in a Formula One car and he's up to here. You can only see the top bit of his 3/4 of his head. Then you put a helmet on him, and he's surrounded by new safety structures that are used. You're not going to see Daniel Ricciardo anymore as a person. You will see him as a driver and as a character and as a personality on the track, because the way he drives is an extension of that. But it's a tough ask. And now you've watched Formula One races. You've watched maybe 10, 15, 20 of them. I watched literally hundreds. It's tough for that first little while to get your eye in and get to see who's wearing who's what. Yeah. And this TV show has set it up with a lot of drama. Mm-hmm. So what do you think people could do? I think the commentary teams have to be aware of this documentary to try and help keep that?
Yeah, I think I would say, because there's the one as you don't really get to see them is, and also there's two and a team, so like getting between the two kind of drivers and where they are and stuff like that, it's very much on the commentators to like highlight that, you know, this is Vettel and this is Leclerc and stuff like that, for especially for new people, that I do think bringing in kind of like, you know, elements of the show and commentating on, like, you know, maybe some of the past rivalry stuff that's happened, or maybe some of the stuff that's come out. I don't mean like, you don't need to be like essentially as a commentator for Formula One essentially clip, you know, back to the show or anything, but like bringing up the fact that, you know, I know that Ferrari have just joined for the new season. They weren't fully on board for the first one.
For this season of the TV show, them and Mercedes, the two top teams, had kind of shunned it a little bit in the first season. So like commentating on the fact that like some of the new drivers that they have on the season were kind of like a little bit unsure, whereas the people who were in the first season kind of might have been a little bit more kind of like used to the cameras and stuff. I never thought and this again, not about the sport, it's about the TV show, the Netflix show. I never thought I'd say to anybody or into a camera, you know what the commentary team in a sport should do is watch the documentary that's brought people to it. Yeah, that's why this is a game changer. This is a different world now where people need to start thinking, well, what's brought people to this table? I got to keep a little bit of that until they become more used to it. Yeah. Now, go for it. No, I was going to say, like, you know, and especially now that we're moving on to certain events and stuff like that that's currently going on in the world, it gets a little bit more difficult. That's my point. So the event that Paul's referring to is the coronavirus. Yeah, which is currently growing in kind of like problems and stuff. So stay safe. Yeah. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. All that kind of stuff. This is not a public announcement, it's just, you know, stay safe. Yeah, do stay safe and wash your hands even once the coronavirus is sorted out, by the way. Wash your hands, good advice. But your point to that is, and I think this is the crux of this whole video for me, the reason that we wanted to make it. This is a TV show that's making a sport very, very popular all of a sudden, bringing new people. It's going to be hard enough for them to understand when they're watching a race that it's nothing like the documentary. I think a lot of people will still say, stay. But if you have a 3-month gap because a lot of races are cancelled because of the coronavirus, it could have a serious impact in a lot of those new fans not ever making it as far as the first race. Well, yeah, there will be fall off and stuff like that. And we've also commented about that some of the races that have been cancelled, and a lot of the other ones are kind of been on the fence about whether they're going to happen and stuff. Like, not only that, there is exciting races, there's exciting tracks out there that are bringing a great kind of a race and stuff with lots of drama and stuff. You might end up getting a starting race from a like, you know, not, I won't say less like, exciting track. It's okay to say that some tracks are not as exciting as others. It's just that simple. So like the payoff, as you said, 3 months waiting, you're going to have some fall off. Then you're going to have a bunch of people watching possibly not one of the most exciting tracks that are out there. Yeah, and you might have more fall off in the fact that, you know, it's the race is very uniformed and stuff, and there's not a lot of drama again between the drivers and stuff. And that's it. To bring it back to because I'm very conscious, I don't want to end up talking about car stuff because that's not what this is supposed to be about. If Netflix, which they've done a great job making it, get really unlucky now, or the sport gets really unlucky, that Netflix have had their win in that the show's been really popular, and then there's too big a gap and interest falls off, the sport will not get the bump. But next year, Netflix will have another chance, and the sport will too. There's going to be a next season. And my question to kind of close it out to you, Paul, is would you ever think that a TV show could end up getting you into a sport? Like, yeah, like I think, because like me and my friend have been watching a lot of anime, and we've been watching a lot of sports anime. Sports anime, yeah, which is an interesting kind of niche thing. Not a niche thing, but it's an interesting sub feature of the anime world, kind of thing. So I love that it exists. That's like, kind of cool. Yeah, so he started off watching baseball, and then we started watching basketball. Then we went on to boxing and stuff, and we're looking for a couple of other shows to kind of like fill our kind of sports anime need and stuff. And is the sports anime making you more interested in those sports, or at the very least, I'm assuming it's making you more knowledgeable, because exposure to anything will teach you a certain amount, I guess.
Yeah, so the boxing one's called Ippo. It's got an actual longer name, but it's shorthand for Ippo, and it's really detailed in the kind of like, there is some anime elements to it, but it's very grounded. But it's taught me about, like, you know, the peekaboo stance, which is what Tyson used quite a lot. He was also an in-fighter, southpaws, outfighters, like the different tactics, some of the different moves, like the Dempsey roll and stuff. Like, it's taught me all this kind of stuff.
You're learning boxing from anime. That's not where I thought my day was going to start today, if you know what I mean. That's awesome.
Like, and also the fact, there's one thing that I also remember. There, I think, I might be wrong, there might be either an F1 anime on the, like, coming.
I think there may be one. I'm not too sure.
Because I know there's a racing one called Initial D, which, as you were saying, is
Initial D is very, very popular with drifters.
But there's an F1 coming, I think.
Wow.
Or is already out there somewhere, which has also got me more interested, because, like, I've already become a fan of the sport. I like anime. It's kind of joining two things
there's a Venn diagram, and you're right in the middle there. That's kind of cool.
But coming back to some of the story, like, the sports anime thing means that, like, it's made me more interested in those sports. So from a documentary point of view, if you were to choose another sport,
what would I choose?
Well, we had the football one, because you were very much into
American college football. There was a couple of great Netflix docu-series that myself and my wife got mad into and binge watched. Soccer doesn't need the help. It's worldwide enough.
No.
I think Formula One did need this, and I would love other levels of motorsport to get this. Mm-hmm. There's Formula E electric racing that I think could really do with something like this, but particularly the new Formula W series, which is all female series. I think it would really benefit from something like this. But a sport outside of that, I don't know. I guess, like, the Olympics is likely to end up getting something like this.
Like a background to the thing.
Like, they'll show the drama behind the scenes of running the Olympics, or maybe some big rivalries in different sports. Mm-hmm. But I think realistically they're going to want to pick things that have season on season. What do you think's going to be? Well,
like, I think like Formula One has a lot of kind of action to it and stuff like that. So like I say, it's probably going to be another one of the action ones. Now, I wouldn't think it would be rugby, because I think closer to a World Cup there might be one.
Yeah,
because it means that there's more teams involved. So I'd have to say, in my bet, ice hockey probably.
Oh, that definitely has action, and definitely has a visceral and filmic quality to it. Mm-hmm. And also it is seasonal, so you're going to be able to have seasonal narratives of teams and rivalries, etc.
Yeah. It also has some great movies based on it, like The Mighty Ducks.
That's it. The Mighty Ducks. Or Goon. And Goon 2. Revenge of the Enforcer, or whatever. Watch the Goon movies.
I'm an Anaheim Ducks fan, you know, just so people know.
Bruins all the way. Anyway, before we get into actual sports rivalries on our show, check out Drive to Survive, see what you think. If you've never watched a car show or anything like it, this is probably the one to start with, because I think it's probably 2 episodes in before you ever even see a car.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of people shouting at each other and cursing. It's more like Real Housewives of Formula One sometimes. It's great.
Like, if you watch Ford v Ferrari, it also might be something that might, you know, if you got into more kind of like the car rivalries and stuff, it might pop you up a little bit more as well.
Yeah, so let us know what you think. Let us know if you would also see some of the dangers around drop off because of coronavirus, or, you know, that people might find it difficult to watch a race when they were so used to watching people sitting giving interviews rather than going around with helmets on where you can't see their faces. I want to leave you on this note. If you're anybody out there who's being an asshole to new fans, and particularly to new fans of a gender that you don't have, how about you shut up and go away?
Which could like, subscribe, comment down below. Maybe you've watched the show, maybe you're a fan of Formula One and stuff. You know, happy to hear from you. But on that note,
I've been Patrick.
And I've been Paul.
And we've been teammates on Here Aside.
Bye.